So this is one of my faceless YouTube channels that just made me $4,000 last month alone. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys exactly how I did all of this without showing my face once on this channel, without editing one single video. I'll show you guys everything in this video, literally step-by-step guide on how you can do the exact same thing. Now, just for you guys, so you can see this is real, let me actually reload this page. As we can see right there, now I have reloaded the page. As you can see, still exactly the same. Not only that, let me actually change the currency as well to Turkish lira, just as an example. Here we can see now it changed. Now let me change this back to US dollars. I always need to do this so you guys can see this is absolutely real. Now that being said, let's get right into the video. Now for the people who don't know me, I'm Stefan, 23 years old, currently make between $30,000 and $40,000 a month with YouTube and constantly starting new channels, as we can see right there. Then I've made, $42,000 with just 2 videos that I've posted. I've scaled the channel from $0 to $48,000 in just 30 days, as we can see right there. And then, I've helped hundreds of other people do the exact same thing. For example, here, Martin Stessman, who have helped to scale to $31,000 in one single month. And then here, a student absolutely blew up his channel. Then here, another one, $24,000 a month. Here one, $12,000 a month, and many, many more. You guys can pause the video and read through all of these. Now, with that being said, if you are interested in getting the exact same results, check out the first link in the video description. Book a completely free call with me, and we'll just have a look if it makes sense to work together or not. Now, that being said, I would say let's get started right into the video. This video is going to be uncut, so if your attention span is like this, just get away from my channel. Now, that being said, firstly, what kind of steps are we going to do? What exactly are we going to do? So we're firstly going to pick a niche to actually post video in, and I'll go more, step by step into each and every point. Then we have to pick video topics. Then we have to, find freelancers and AI tools to create the videos for us. Then I'm going to post the videos to YouTube, and then lastly, YouTube is actually going to pay us for the views. Now, that being said, let's get started with choosing your niche. Now, something everyone needs to know when it comes to YouTube automation is that, there is one specific, very, very specific thing with YouTube, right? One specific term, and that is supply and demand. This is probably the most important part when it comes to YouTube automation, and that is basically seeing YouTube as a marketplace. And just like any other market, YouTube has supply and it has demand. All right. This is extremely important, and most people fail because they do not understand this. All right. Now, what does that actually mean? Very simple. Demand is what the audience wants to watch, and supply is how much content is there already. Now, we are looking for a gap between these two. Now, what normal YouTubers do is they spend years to build their personal brands. They spend years building a connection to their audience, and it takes a lot of time and hard work to build demand around them. Now, luckily, with YouTube automation, we literally skip that whole process. What we do instead is we look for a topic or niche that has a lot of demand but no supply. All right. As I've said, we're looking for a gap between these two. And then we literally essentially want to fill that gap, as easy as that. Now, when we're looking for niche, there's specific criteria we're always looking for. And number one, there are under 5 smaller channels in that niche creating content that are constantly getting more views than they have subscribers. This means there's high demand and low supply, which is extremely important, which is an extremely important metric that, there is a gap in the market and we can fill something and build a channel in that market. Then number 2, there are no channels with over 100,000 subscribers. Extremely important, because you will not be able to compete against channels that have more than 100,000 subscribers. In very, very rare cases will you be able to compete against them, but for most cases, you will not be able to compete against them. Then there are no smaller channels failing. The niche is not older than 6 months. This is extremely important, just because in most cases, if the niche is older than 6 months, there will be big channels and there will be a bunch of channels failing. Then I can create better content than my competitors. Whoops. This can also just be longer content. All right. Can also be longer content. Then am I actually interested in this niche? This is not a must as long as you build a team that actually has interest in that niche. Is the niche monetizable? Super important. Otherwise, you're not going to make money. I'll show you in a second how you can figure out if you can monetize a niche or not. Then huge bonus if you can actually post long videos in that niche. Very simple, because then you can place more ads on your videos and you can make more money. All right. Now, very important is that this does not need to be 1000% with all niches you choose. Very simple. Don't perfectionize on this. Try to get it as good as possible. Now, a perfect niche will absolutely blow up, like this one here did, just as an example. But it is very rare that you find a niche that is absolutely 100% perfect. Okay. All right. Then now, tools I would recommend for doing niche research is Next Level. It's like 13 euros a month. I'll link it in the video description with a 20% discount code. It's only 13 euros a month. Super, super cool. I'll show you guys how to use it. And then VidIQ, the free plan is more than enough. Now, the way we do niche research is with a dummy account, all right? Now, this is basically an account that we only use for niche research. Now, something you have to know is that the YouTube homepage has changed to our advantage, and YouTube got extremely good at predicting what we want to watch, all right? And we can use exactly that to our advantage to train the YouTube algorithm to only show us niches or faceless niches on our YouTube home tab, which is insane because, once you have this set up, YouTube will literally give you niches all of the time. Now, instead of me explaining all of this, let me actually show you how you can set this up yourself. Now, once a dummy account is set up, you can find endless niches with it. Now, let me quickly open up my dummy account so I can just show you guys how this looks. All right, here's my dummy account. As we can see, it's literally just faceless niches on my YouTube homepage. All just faceless niches, right? And here directly at the top, here's a faceless niche. I don't know, right? 10 videos, 600 subscribers, and just had a massive outlier video here of, 36,000 views, which is massive. And you guys can, create an account exactly like this one as well. Now, for that, you will go ahead and you will open I'm just going to open an incognito window for now. Let me just close this down. I have an open window. I'll just quickly close. All right, so I'm back. So what you're going to do is you're going to create a YouTube account exactly like this one. Now, I'm going to show you guys how to do it on an incognito page, basically simulating a brand new YouTube channel. So you're obviously going to be signed in, but everything is going to look the exact same way. Now, what you're going to do is very simple. You're going to look up anything you're interested in. For example, the biggest houses. Now, keep in mind, this can be anything you are interested in. What you're going to do is you're going to keep your cursor on the video exactly like this. And then if you say, hey, it's a faceless video, then we click on that video and we subscribe to this channel. We like this video and we move on here on the sidebar. All right. What we're going to do now is we're going to look for more faceless videos that, we can click onto. Let's say, for example, like this one. Clicked onto it. Again, faceless video, subscribe to this channel, like this video, and keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on going. Like for, I would say 15 to 30 minutes, just do this. And then you can go back to your YouTube homepage. And on your YouTube homepage, you will then see faceless video, faceless, faceless, just faceless videos all over the place. And you will see that more and more niches in the specific niche you're already interested in will be shown on your YouTube homepage. Like, for example, here, that's a video I would click on to show YouTube again. Hey, that is what I'm interested in. Now, once your account is fully set up, like mine is just as an example, you can use Next Level for a few things. So for example, this channel here, we can see this channel has 960 subscribers and this channel got 180,000 views on this video. Then we go ahead and we look at this video or at this channel. Now with Next Level, we can actually, look for similar channels just by clicking on this. So then it's actually going to go ahead and scan YouTube and look for similar channels in that niche. But we can also click here on analytics, where we can then see the RPM. We can see all of these things, which are all things that are crucial when entering a niche, because you want to know what your RPM is before you go into a niche. So you can decide like, hey, if I'm going to make 1 million views and get paid $5,000 a month, is that firstly possible? And secondly, would that be enough for me? Right? So that is something only you can decide. And, with Next Level, you can load all of that up. As I've said, I'll link it in the video description. Not sure how long it's going to take to load now, but you guys probably already know Next Level. All right. Then, something we do quite a lot is create new niches using the niche transfer method. Now, instead of blindly copying something everyone is doing, use the niche transfer method, or we use the niche transfer method to literally 1000x our results, like no joke, okay? Now, this is essentially taking proven concepts and moving them to different markets on YouTube. This can be anything, your title, your thumbnail style, your video style, anything that is currently working. No joke, anything. Now, if we look at these few examples, we can see here medieval times discovered, just as an example. So this is a channel that is posting videos on medieval times. You know, how did medieval people live? And this channel here is taking the exact same kind of concept that this channel is posting about and doing the videos for, you know, before fire, people in Stone Age. Same thing here. This channel is doing it for pirates. This one for homeless people, right? Now, I know all of this might sound a bit confusing, and that's why, again, if you are interested in working close with me, where we completely pick the niche with you, we do all of these things with you, like for example here, you know, Antonin, we did everything with him, got monetized in 20 days, then check out the first link in the video description, book your completely free call with me, and we'll have a look, you know, how we can scale you up. Now, that being said, next step would be choosing your video topics. Now, supply and demand is not just important in your niche, but it is also extremely important in the video topics you choose. Now, how do you actually go ahead and find demand? You look for recent outlier videos on competitor channels, all right? Look for recent trending formats. So on this channel here, just as an example, we would look at, hey, okay, which kind of video performed the best very recently? Then we can see this one, right? Then, you know, very important is we do not copy the most popular videos from competitors. This is what everyone does, and your videos will fail. So let's say, for example, this channel is already a little bit bigger, and we go ahead and we copy the most popular video, and this video is 2-3 months old already. I promise you that hundreds of people or tens of people will have already recreated this exact video, and that's where, you know, it becomes a problem when we look at supply, right? Because we want to use our YouTube search bar and look for how many people have created the exact same video to that topic. If it's been done more than 3 times and you don't have a different angle to that specific video, look for another topic, okay? Now, YouTube will always show the videos to the hardcore fans of that niche first, and if they have already seen that video multiple times, they do not have a single reason for clicking on the video, except if it follows a different angle. Okay, this is very important because I see people, and also between you guys, I see you guys choosing the right niches, but I also see you guys choosing the wrong video topics, and that's where many people mess up as well. Okay. Now, how does a perfect video topic actually look like? A perfect video topic resonates with your audience. So ask yourself, do they even want to watch this? Then some topics sound super interesting but are super boring. Make sure your topic is not boring. Your topic has to be posted on time, especially if it is a trend. Then repeat what has done well in the past. I'll share more on this later. Then very easy, leverage negativity. Humans respond better to negative things. All right. If you look at all of these kind of news headlines, all of it negativity, 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 right? Humans just respond better to negative things. Now, something we also like to do is with the video topics is called the topic transfer method. Now, this is by far the most powerful way to choose video topics. And what you essentially do is you find winning video topics in other niches and move them over to your niche. This can work insanely well if it is done correctly. Now, as we can see right here, just as an example, here's some examples. So why you wouldn't last 24 hours in Stone Age and why you wouldn't last 24 hours in medieval times. Exact same topic, just for different people. Here we have the exact same thing. Different, you know, just this one is for dogs, this one is for cats, right? Then this is exactly what we did with Scott, who went from, you know, literally getting 50 to 100 views a video and almost giving up on his YouTube channel to 5K month within like a week. So as we can see here, channel absolutely blew up, and he even had a $450 day right there, which is very, very strong just by, you know, finding or changing it up when it comes to video topics. Now, The next thing, which is massive, is doubling down on what works. Once you find something that works and gets views, why would you want to reinvent the wheel? Double down on that topic until it does not work anymore. If you have something that works, do 80% of what works and 20% test new stuff. Now, this has worked extremely well for Andre, who went from, just being monetized to $31,000 in 4 months, as we can see right here. And pretty cool is that since he hit that first $30,000 month, he never ever went below it again. Okay. Then next up, we actually need to create the content. So for content creation, we have 3 different options. So we can either do it ourselves, go with a hybrid method, or fully outsource it. Now, if you do it yourself, there are a few advantages. Like, for example, you basically don't have any costs. You have 100% profit margin. You learn new skills and you have full control over the process. When it comes to the disadvantages, it's not very scalable. It's extremely time consuming because you obviously have to do everything yourself. Learning takes a bunch of time, and without you, you don't make any money because then no videos are being posted. Now, for the hybrid method, where you do some and the freelancers do some, the advantages are it's low cost. You do only what you enjoy. You have more control, and the disadvantages are it's only partially scalable, it's very time consuming, and some capital is required. And without you, you don't make any money because you still do some kind of part of the content creation. Okay. Then if you fully outsource it, the advantages are not very time consuming, extremely scalable, still over 80% profit margin, very time consuming. You work with experienced freelancers. By the way, if we work together one-on-one, we actually give you guys freelancers, and without you, there's still an income. The disadvantages are it does require some initial capital. Now, it does not matter how you create the content as long as the content is actually being created. That is the most important thing. Now, there are a few different ways how you can hire these people. So, for example, or where you can hire them. Thumbnail designer, you can hire from X, Fiverr, Upwork, YTjobs or onlinejobs.ph, then scriptwriter, Upwork, YTjobs, onlinejobs.ph, or even you can use AI to write the scripts. I also use AI to write my scripts, right? So you can use AI. If you're good at that, go ahead and write scripts with AI. Voiceover artist, Fiverr or 11 Labs, or even GenAI Pro. We just use AI voiceovers. Works pretty well. Then video editors on Upwork, you will find the cheapest, the best, right? So you will find good editors at a very good price, if I can say it like that. Then on X, YTjobs and onlinejobs.ph, all of these are very good. Then for channel managers, to be very honest, you only need a channel manager. Once you're running 2, 3, 4 channels, that's where you need a channel manager. Now for channel managers, you can look between your friends, you can hire on Upwork, you can, hire here from your freelancers that you're already using. You can check on YTjobs and on onlinejobs.ph. Now, very important is when you hire a freelance and channel manager, you need to make sure that that specific person is very accountable because he's going to run your business for you. Okay. Now, next thing is uploading the videos to YouTube. This is where the fun really begins. So I follow this exact process with every single niche I get into to avoid spending money on videos that will never ever work. So firstly, we do niche research, then we choose a YouTube account to post the videos to. So either a new account, personal account, aged account, or a pre-monetized account. Then we actually choose 10 to 15 video topics. Now again, go back to choosing video topics and make sure that you actually choose good video topics. That's going to be a game changer for you. Okay. Now, once you chose video topics, you're going to write the script with AI, any kind of AI. Now keep in mind, we're just trying to keep the costs low for now because we're just going to test the niche. Then, for the voiceover, we're going to use 11 Labs or any kind of AI. Then for the video editor, we're going to use a freelancer, or you can even do it yourself. If you're going to use a freelancer, up to $30 cost. All right. Now, for the thumbnail designer, you can either again use a freelancer or you can do it yourself. Then, for the video length, we want our videos to be at least 1.5 times longer than our competitor videos. Yes, 1.5 times longer than our competitor videos, which is Very, very important. Why? Because then you have a competitive advantage over your competitors, because people can watch your videos for a longer period of time than they can watch theirs. And the person that's gonna keep people on YouTube for the longest period of time is always going to win. Now, for your thumbnail and your title, you want to do something that's proven to work in that niche. Just as an example, if we go into this niche, we want something that almost looks like this, because we already know this is working in this specific niche. Now, once you have that done, then we want to, start posting. So we post, skip, post, skip, post, post, skip, post. Now, why do we do that? We want to be inconsistent in the beginning to kind of show YouTube like, hey, there's a human behind the account. All right. Now, once we start posting, what you will see is either you will see this, right? You'll post, not many views in the beginning, and then something will blow up. And that is only where you continue to post, all right? You're only going to post up to 15 videos. If nothing happens, which I'll show you in a second what you do then, you only post up to 15 videos. If something blows up, then you actually continue to post. If in scenario 2, nothing happens and you don't get any views, you do not continue to post, all right? Then you actually go ahead and you need to figure out, why did this specific channel fail? So you have to ask yourself, is it the niche, the video topics, the packaging, the video length, or maybe is it a bad channel? You have to ask yourself these things. In case of it being a bad channel, the videos won't get any impressions, and you go ahead and you post them to a different YouTube channel, all right? And again, if it doesn't get any views, then it's probably one of these. Now, in case of a channel failing, you go back to niche research and you repeat this process. And I always say, if you repeat this process over and over and over and over again, you will find something that works 100%, all right? Now, the part that everyone is always waiting for, making money with YouTube. Now, what we're gonna, do is use the YouTube partnership program. This is the easiest way to monetize your YouTube videos. And YouTube pays you, because YouTube pays you directly for the views you get. Now, for that, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. Now, I know 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time sounds a lot, but the people we work with get to this point in 3 to 6 weeks on average. Just had someone doing it again yesterday, as we can see right here. Here we can see, where's it again? Here, just crossed the magic number of 1,000 subscribers this afternoon. Couldn't be happier. If you want to get monetized, check out the first link in the video description, all right? Now, how much money can you actually earn? So we firstly have a CPM, which is cost per 1,000 views, how much advertisers pay for every 1,000 views or impressions on their ad. And then we have RPM, revenue per 1,000 views, how much you actually earn per 1,000 views. Now, if you have an RPM of $5, for 1,000 views, you get $5. For 10,000 views, you get $50. For 100,000 views, you get $500. And for 4 million views, you get $5,000. And for 10 million views, you get $50,000. Now imagine, if you want to make, $10,000 a month, you only need 2 million views on a topic that people are already interested in, okay? Now, how can you increase your RPM? You can turn on alcohol and gambling ads. You can create longer videos than 15 minutes, and you can place ads every 10 seconds using Next Level, which is also a game changer. So this alone, Next Level pays for itself just by this. Crazy. Okay. Now, that being said, I hope you guys understand the whole kind of process now. If you are, as I said, interested in, working one-on-one with me instead of, doing the trial and error thing, just like here, for example, this student did, with which we made $18,000 a month. Here, this one, $4,000, and this one, $8,000, and many, many more. Then check out the first link in the video description. Book a completely free one-on-one call with me. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.